Hey guys, and welcome back to year 3 now of our Orioles rebuild. And going into this one, I'm kind of thinking that we're really only a few tweaks to the roster away from probably getting that wild card spot. So the goal for this year is going to be that second wild card, or first one, if we're doing well enough. But the goal this year is to get into one of those 2 wild card spots in the AL. Definitely think it's doable. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out the first 2 videos for this rebuild, go back. They're on my channel page. Feel free to look at them. And yeah, let's get into year 3. Let's see if we can keep this team heading in the right direction. All right, so in the arbitration eligible players, the only 2 guys that we're not going to offer arbitration to is, where is he? Andrew Suzak, who didn't even play last year, and I have Brian Holiday, who by his attributes is a better player, and he's still heading upwards in overall rating. And of course we still have Cisco there, who is just about ready to be a catcher in the major league level, which he probably already is, it's just his offense is a little low. But Suzak, like I was saying, didn't even play last year, and he wanted almost $2 million, so I'm not going to pay that to him, especially when I don't see him on the major league roster either. So we're not going to offer him a deal. So we're going to let him walk. And the same with Orlando, who's just trending downwards. Didn't really do that great last year, honestly. He hit 226. What was his on base? Yeah, 266. I got other guys that I can probably get on the major league roster that will perform a little bit better than him. Plus he's already 34, so we're going to let him walk. In terms of tendering contracts, we pretty much tendered contract to everyone here. There was nobody that I didn't re-sign. Now, with the free agent players, who was it? It was Duda and... No, I offered something to Ryan. I think the only guy that we didn't sign back was Duda. We let him walk. We re-signed Castellanos, and we re-signed Alvarez, and we re-signed Drew Smiley. So far, it's pretty much the same club for the most part as last year. And actually, in free agency, I want to see who we... Oh, we can't see that. Why did I think we could? I was going to see the players that we signed through the draft last year, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm not really... I got to go through again, because it's been a few days, and see just where we're looking to improve at any positions, and see if there's anyone that's cheap enough and that will perform well enough, and just someone who fits well with the club right now. I'm kind of just looking through all the available free agents. I'll go a little bit more in depth when I'm actually looking in and seeing who I'm going to sign, but I have to go back first and just see exactly if there's any areas of weakness on our squad right now, and depending on that, of course, we'll look in here and see if we can sign anyone to shore up those spots. And yeah, I'll probably meet you guys back at beginning of spring training and show you if there's anyone that I signed, and then we'll be looking to do any potential trades before the season gets underway. So until then, I will see you guys in a few seconds. So we're here at the roster screen. The off season's over. I am going to be looking to make a few potential trades before the season starts, but just to give you guys an overview of what the roster looks like at the moment, this is what we're working with. So in the starting rotation, we have Bundy, Alvarez, Gray, Montgomery, and Smiley, which is the same as last year. And if these guys can perform the way, they should, then we probably shouldn't have an issue there. Now the problem becomes if they're not performing, or a few of them aren't performing, which is what happened last year, we're going to have to go out and potentially find someone else to fill in their spot. We got Wright and Yanoa at kind of in our depth, our 6th and 7th starters in the organization. 2 years ago, Yanoa came up and did well. Last year, Wright came up and did well. So they are 2 potential options to slide into that fifth spot in the rotation in case we do need someone and we can't find anyone else to replace whether it be an injury or underperformance to one of these starters that we have in the rotation to start out. The bullpen is pretty solid in my opinion. We got Herrera, Bowman, Wilson, Blyer, Torres, Rogers. All 6 of those guys are solid pitchers out of the bullpen. And then we have Givens as the closer. We added Diaz to the 40-man roster. I don't think he's ready to slide into the closer's role, and from the other guys in the roster, I don't even know if he's going to make the major league roster, but he is already a 76 overall. He's moving up in his attributes, so that's good to see. It's not there right now, but it was there previously. So he's someone who may break the club, may not, but he could play a role going down the stretch in the regular season. Or if one of these guys struggles, he may be the first guy that we call up. But in the depth for the bullpen, we have Phillips, Dull, Mesa, Castro, and Scott. Now we removed Marinas from the 40-man roster to make room for Diaz, and yeah, I think that speaks for itself. Marinas is 31, deep potential. Hasn't really done that great when he was called up in the previous 2 years, so Diaz is looking at the future, and yeah, again, he may come in and play a role going down the stretch this year. As for the hitting part of the team, the position players, the offense, we got JT Realmuto at catcher. We signed Kurt Suzuki, and again, it kind of goes against what I was doing with the salary. And he's 36 years old. He's not the best right now, but year after year, he tends to, okay, maybe not, but for the most part, he's pretty reliable. You know what he's going to bring to the table. I did not even notice his average there, so that was a mistake on my part. But honestly, I'm not really sure how the catching is going to line up. We got Cisco, who could be ready. His offense is still a little bit low, but we have Holiday, who performed really well last year. We have Suzuki, who, like I mentioned, could, for the most part, he is pretty predictable in what he's going to give you, and it's not bad. And then we have Realmuto, who we may look to trade depending on how he performs and depending on what we can find on the trade market for him. But again, even if we trade Realmuto and we don't have someone to slide in like an impact catcher, we could platoon any one of the 3 here with Holiday, Cisco, and Suzuki. That's always an option. So I'm not entirely sure just yet what the catching may look like, but we do have a few ideas floating around as to what we can do there. First base, we have Aguilar. We have Moreland as a backup. I signed him from the free agent market just because we really didn't have much first base depth, and I didn't want Cordero to be on the 40-man roster or the major league roster for that matter. So Moreland kind of shores up that area. Second base, we have Nunez still. We called McCarthy. We brought McCarthy onto the 40-man roster, and we removed Cordero from it. McCarthy we signed last year we drafted last year, I should say, and his contact's pretty good. His vision is pretty good. He's not going to get hurt. He's a decent fielder. He may be a good bench piece depending on how he performs offensively. So we have him over Cordero now. At third base, we have Candelario. Hopefully he performs better than last year. We know he can, but we don't know if he will. So we got to watch him a little bit and see how he performs and how he develops, because he is still only 26 years old. And then at shortstop, we have Segura, who we're hoping has a nice season this year. We have Tovar as the bench piece, Sardinius as a potential guy that we can call up into the bench, into another bench role, and then we have Paredes and Grenier here, kind of as depth pieces, and Grenier is on the 40-man roster. I wanted one of them on there, and I think Grenier is a little bit better offensively. A little worse defensively, but a little better offensively. Mancini in the outfield, we have in left, along with Santander. Mancini, if I can find another outfielder, I'd like to move Mancini to the DH spot, just because he's not very good fielding-wise. And we kind of have a couple of corner outfielders on the squad already. And if we can move him to the DH and find another guy who can play center, that would work very well, in my opinion. So we have Santander here, who could be a backup. We have Mullins, who, depending on who we get and if Santander performs, may be up and down from the minors. He may be in the minors. He may be that fifth outfielder. We kind of got to see how things work out. And then in right field, we have Castellanos, Soler, and Yastrzemski, and also Diaz. I'm not really sure about Diaz. He kind of keeps going up and down in his rating. So we'll see if we can get him in the Major League roster. If not, we may just look to trade him. Yastrzemski, if we can find another outfielder, we're probably going to move him, or because I'll probably be looking to remove him from the 40-man roster if we do find another guy, and potentially trade him if we have to do that, just maybe if we can get something for him. So that's how the roster rounds out at the moment, moving into the third year of this rebuild. Not bad. I think it's looking a lot better year by year. We do have a few spots where I'm a little unsure of, like I mentioned, we need that other outfielder potentially, and I am a little unsure about the infield depth. But that's not like a main priority in my eyes at the moment. And then of course catcher is a little bit of a question mark there as to what we're doing and who's going to be in those roles, and if we're gonna have someone else. I'd probably like to look to trade Real Muto. So that's the overview of the roster, and we're going to look to make a few trades potentially before the season opens up. And yeah, I'll meet you guys back at the trade screen if I find anything. Otherwise, I'll see you guys at the draft. So we found a trade for Real Muto. We would trade him to the Red Sox for Blake Swihart, and we'd also add in Isaac Paredes, which is a shortstop, a prospect that we received. I forget which trade, but we received him in a trade last year for infield depth. But we have Grenier right now as the infield depth on the 40-man roster, so we can trade him or Paredes, and we're going to trade Paredes here to make the deal go through. Now Swihart is 27. He's a B potential. He is a guy who actually he's nothing like he's not great, but he's a guy who performs pretty solidly at the catching position. He's got good contact, not a lot of power, which is completely okay. He's got good durability, so he shouldn't get hurt that much, if at all. His fielding could be a little bit better, but it's not terrible. But overall, he's a guy who performs pretty well moving forward. He's, like I mentioned, he is only 27. Now he is making $3 million, which is a little bit more than I wanted to find, but I think it's something that we can deal with. We're still under the salary cap, and of course we still have some room. But I think overall this will be a good deal. I think he's going to perform better than Real Muto, and we're giving up Paredes, but we still have Grenier and a couple other guys in that infield depth area. I do want to shore up that specific area on the roster, which I already mentioned, but I think this trade is necessary. I don't think Real Muto is going to develop much more or perform too much better. So I do think that this deal is going to help us out, and yeah, we're going to go through with it. And if I find any more trades before the season starts, I will make sure to update you guys back on this screen. So we found a deal for another outfielder who could play center field for us. It would be Stephen Piscotty from the Athletics for Brennan Hanafy, Sean Gilmartin, and Mike Yastrzemski. Now this trade does put us a little bit lower or closer to the budget cap, but Piscotty is a solid player, and he's under contract for 4 more years, including this one, for only $2.8 million a year. He's still developing. He's 29. He's overall a solid player. He's capable of playing center field. I know it's not his first position, but he is definitely capable of playing it, and it is a secondary position for him. Now we'd be giving up Mike Yastrzemski, who's been kind of just like a depth piece in the outfield for us, which I really don't mind giving up. They wanted Escalona, but he fits in there a little bit better just because Escalona is younger. Now we'd also be giving up Sean Gilmartin, who they wanted actually Jose Mesa, but they were open to Gilmartin as well, so we put him in there. Obviously he's a better choice to trade away and to keep Mesa in case we need him for another deal in the future. Also, he's got better potential, and he's younger, so he could actually develop a little bit more and play a part in our bullpen. So again, it's better to hold on to him and trade Gilmartin. I'm glad they accepted that. And then also, I guess the main piece in this deal for them would be Brennan Hanafy, who's a 21 B potential, 64 overall starting pitcher. I'm actually not sure if we drafted him. I'm not remembering. Either way, I think this deal is going to be good for us. It'll help us, again, put Mancini back, or not back, but Mancini in the DH spot because he does struggle in the field. We could have Mullins or Santander be that fifth outfielder. The other one would be as depth in the minor leagues. And then it gives Diaz a little bit more time to develop. And Soler and Castellanos would be in the corner outfield spots. So I do think this deal would be good. We're going to go through with it. And yeah, hopefully this one works out for us and helps us solidify that starting outfield and put a solid hitter in the DH spot too, in Mancini. So we're gonna leave this off here. We're gonna make this trade, and I will see you guys around the trade, not the trade deadline, the draft. Unless of course there's an injury or another trade or anything like that. But yeah, I'll see you guys at the draft. All right, so a quick update here in the beginning of May. When I got him, I even said that he's most likely not to get hurt, but Swihart has a torn calf. He's going to be out 2 to 3 months, and that's a big blow. It takes away our starting catcher, which is a tough position to fill out. I don't think I'm going to be trading for anyone. Probably just put either... he was doing good too, hitting 290 and 100 at bats. Depending, we might move Cisco to the starting role and then call up Suzuki, which is probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's fix that up a little bit. Cisco. Well, Suzuki's better versus. We might platoon them actually. Cisco, and then Suzuki's better versus lefties. So put Suzuki in there against lefties. All right. Now, overall, we're doing pretty good. We're actually first in the division. It's only about a month into the season, so it's a little early to be getting excited about records. But, yeah, so far we're doing good to start the season. Just wanted to update you guys with that as well. And, yeah, hopefully we can keep this going. And the Swihart injury won't come back to hurt us. And hopefully we can stay healthy for the most part for the rest of the team. But I will meet you guys at the draft come the middle of June, so I'll see you guys there. Okay guys, so here are the draft results. I did let the CPU do the drafting this year as well as in the second year too, but overall pretty good year, pretty good draft I should say, probably even a little bit better than last year's. So with the first pick we took Tommy Gaston, a closing pitcher who's 19, potential 92. He's a 58, but he's got that potential, so we're going to sign him to a 1-year deal. I'm just looking. None of his stats are really that great. But somehow he's got that A potential. He's probably someone who's going to need a lot of time to develop. But he might be a good trade piece if we do a 4th year. Second round, or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So probably also a competitive round balance. I forget exactly what it's called, but also a first round. Jimmy Ayala, who's 20, starting pitcher, 86 potential. He's a 61. He's a little bit better than the first guy in terms of attributes at the time. For the time being, I should say. His clutch is not very good, but again, probably just a prospect that we can use for a trade for value to potentially get anyone that we might we may need moving forward in the future. Third, in the second round, we have Charlie Morgan, third baseman, 2281 potential. He's a 47. Oh boy. So yeah, these guys really are players who have decent potential, but look like they probably need a lot of time to develop. So for the most part, they're all looking at potential trade bait here. Cristobal Padilla was in the third round, starting pitcher. He's 24, 74 potential. He's a 60. I don't know. We may come back to him and sign him. I'm not really sure. Felix Mortero was in the fourth round, second baseman, 22 years old, 71 potential. Same with him. We may come back. I'm not really sure at the moment. Tyler Shim, he's a right fielder. He's 21. He's a 68 potential. We're probably going to let him walk. And then finally, Stanley Quinones, starting pitcher, 24, 54 overall right now. He's a B potential. We'll sign him to a 1-year deal too. And that leaves these two guys. We already have 2 starters, so we may not need to sign him. Maybe we'll sign Mortero to a 1-year deal. We'll probably let Padilla and Shim walk, but that is overall the draft for this year. A lot better than the first year, and probably even a little bit better than last year, just in terms of their potential. I know a lot of these guys look like I've mentioned, they need a lot of time to develop, so there's no one that probably we're going to be using. But again, we could use them in trades to add some value to get some guys that we may need moving forward. Of course, that wouldn't be until next year, and that's if we need a year 4. But we'll see. Currently, we've fallen back down a little bit. We're 4 games over 500 at the draft, and we still have that second wild card spot, a game up on the Athletics. The White Sox are there over 500 too. But yeah, I don't know. We were kind of around this point last year too, so we'll kind of have to see how this progresses. But yeah, unless there's a trade or an injury or anything like that I need to update you guys with, I'll see you at the trade deadline. Okay, so it is the All-Star break now, and I figured I'd just update you guys on how we're doing. We are 55-41, and we're in first place, or we're tied for first place with the Red Sox. The Yankees are 2.5 back. What else? In the wild card, again, we're kind of tied with the Red Sox there for the first wild card spot. The Yankees would be in the second one. And the White Sox are 6 games back of us. 2 games over 500. We're currently 14 games over 500. So there's a nice gap there to make the wild card spot so far. But we still have a lot of baseball left to play. Also, I like to check. I usually like to see just if anybody on our team has made the... Nope, they haven't. If they've made the home run derby. We got Judge with 27, Martinez with 27, Stanton with 26, Mazzaro with 24, Harper with 23, same with Arenado and Hosmer, and Bell with 22. So that is this year's home run derby. And for the All-Star game, who do we got? And we got Henderson Alvarez made it for us. Nice. I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but Mike Fiers actually started the All-Star game. I think he had like a 2.5 ERA at the time. That was before we traded him, but that was like a huge surprise to me. So it's really cool. We got 2 starters back to back. We got Henderson Alvarez starting for the AL, 2.24 ERA. His whip's pretty good. 13 quality starts out of 19. What else? Got 1.5 WAR. He's never one to strike out a lot of guys, but not bad stats all around. Not at all. We got Fulmer, Kluber, McCullers Jr., and Tanaka rounding out the rotation. Then in the bullpen, we have Sonny Gray, Alex Claudio, Jones, Hildenberger, Diaz. Michael Givens made it for us. He's having a not as good of a year, but yeah, that whip could come down a little bit. But overall, not a bad year for him. Already has 4 blown saves, but he's already got 31 saves as well. So yeah, he could Could lower that ERA just a little bit, but right now it's still good. Definitely good. But that whip needs to come down just a little bit. But he's having a solid year. Who else? Aroldis Chapman rounds out their bullpen. All right, and then the starting 9, we have Altuve, Betts, Trout, Correa, Lindor, Benintendi, Bregman, Bowers, and Narvaez. And then for the backup, the bench, we got Perez, Garver, Carpenter, Odor, Guerrero, Torres, Ramirez, Judge, Martinez, Stanton, and Mazzara. So we just have those 2 pitchers on the squad from the Baltimore Orioles. But so far this year, we're doing good. Definitely in the running for even the division at this point, but also the obviously the wild card. So hopefully we keep this going. And yeah, as for any trades at the deadline, I'll meet you guys there in just a few seconds. All right, guys. So we made it to the trade deadline, and I'm not really sure that we really have a move to make. We still have August if we need to find someone. It's just there's not going to be as many options available. I mean, overall, in our starting rotation, we got Bundy, who's having a bit of a down year, but, you know, he's not doing too bad. Clearly, he has the offense behind him with those 13 wins. Montgomery's coming back in a few days. He was doing solid for us before he got hurt. Alvarez is having a career year. Gray is having a solid season, too. His ERA is under 3. We got Smiley struggling a little bit. But, I mean, he's doing even better than Bundy. So... You know, he's not doing too bad. Hood is tearing it up in Double-A. I'm surprised his potential isn't going up anymore. Maybe I should call him up to Triple-A. Anyway, we got Wright, who's just filling in for Montgomery. We're going to send him back down once he comes back. You know, is having a decent season in Triple-A. Then for the bullpen, we have Herrera, Torres, Bowman, and Rogers. I'd like to see their ERA come down a little bit, but, you know, for the most part, they're having solid years. Same with Blyer. Wilson was struggling. He had a 5.45 ERA, so I sent him down to the minors, and I called up Diaz, who was actually not going to be able to see it, but his ERA in the minors was under 2. Givens, his ERA has gone up a little bit since the All-Star break, but still having a solid year there. Still only 4 blown saves. So we're going to leave him in the closer role for now as well. So overall, the pitching staff is doing pretty solidly. I don't really see any holes there at the moment. I mean, the biggest ones would be whether these guys start to tire out and you know, start to struggle a little bit, but we can't really foresee that happening. You know, the guy who's doing the worst here is Drew Smiley. For the most part. I mean, Bundy a little bit, but you know he's gonna be there. He's gonna be a solid pitcher. Smiley, he's struggled the past 2 years, so again his ERA is down a little bit further. He's trending downwards, so you know maybe we look potentially for a deal for him. That's really the only thing there. Swihart's not doing as good as he was before he got hurt, but you know, he's still performing well enough. Cisco, I'm not so sure about him. I don't know if it's just because he's unhappy that he's not starting. I mean, you see he's not happy with the coaching, but a lot of these guys on the team aren't that happy with the coaching. And we only have one coach who's rated a C. Everybody else is an A or B, so I don't know. I don't understand why that's affecting them so much. Unless B affects them too, which I didn't think it did. But anyway, Cisco I'm not really sure about. If he continues to struggle, I might just send him down to the minors. If we need a 5th starter, a solid 5th starter, we could always trade Cisco because we have Suzuki and Holiday ready to pick up where he left off. First base, Aguilar is doing solid. Moreland not so much, but he's just back up, so I'm not really worried too much there. Nunez is struggling a bit, so if he does continue to do bad, we can always try calling up McCarthy and filling in that role for the time being. He's having a solid year at AAA, and his contact is there pretty well. Candelario he's not doing bad, but he's not doing great. It's nice to see after last season when he hit 219, so he's definitely improving big time there. So it's nice to see, like I said. Segura's having a bit of a down year, kind of what I was hoping not to have from him. But, you know, it's not terrible, so we're going to hold off on anything there with him. Tovar's having a solid year off the bench. Mancini's having a nice year in the DH role. Santander's performing well enough, 255 average. Castellanos, Soler, and Piscotty are all doing pretty well themselves. So again, there's not really many holes. The only one would be, for right now at least, would be that Smiley's position in the rotation. But we have a guy in Cisco who we can trade and probably get a decent number 2-3 starter maybe. So that's something to think about. So, you know, for the time being, I think I'm gonna leave everything as is. I'm gonna look to see if there's any potential trades for that rotation. And if there is, obviously I'll update you guys on it. If not, I'll see you at the end of the year, and hopefully we have made a playoff spot in that. To be honest, I feel like winning the division would be above what we expect, but hey, if we do, that's awesome. Otherwise, a wild card spot is very respectable for this team. So yeah, hopefully we'll be in a playoff spot regardless. So I'll see you guys then, unless we have another trade, and yeah, I'll go see about that for the time being. Okay, so I found a trade for another starter, and we're gonna straight up trade a catcher and starter for a catcher and starter. Not straight up trade, but we also threw in a shortstop because it was just a little short of going through. So we're gonna put in a low rated prospect who's a little bit older in age as well to get the deal to work for the Blue Jays, who we were trading with. So we're gonna be sending over Drew Smiley right here, Drew Smiley, and Chance Cisco for Marcus Stroman and Danny Jansen. Now Danny Jansen, I feel like he is someone who could use some time in the minors still, so that allows us to call up Suzuki or Holiday to back up Swihart. And this team is a good spot to put Cisco in because he gets an opportunity to be a starter and develop a little bit more there because he's really not doing too great here. As for the starters, we're going to send over Smiley. You know, I'd like to get someone who can really do better and isn't trending downwards. Again, it's like my favorite term here, but someone who can really solidify the rotation. So we're going to be sending over Smiley. I would have preferred to get a left-hander, but I chose to go with Stroman here instead. I know he's a righty, but you know, he's trending up. He's only 28, and you know, he's got solid stats. The other option that I saw, I'm sure there were other options that I didn't notice at the moment, but there was another guy who I was looking to get in Rodriguez on Boston, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe Stroman would be a little bit better. He's got a little more experience. He's a little higher rated at the moment because we are pushing to get in the playoffs this year. So we'll see. We'll see if this works. He's unhappy. Oh, God. Uh-oh. Should we go for him? I don't know. I'm having second thoughts now. Should I not have second thoughts? What about Rodriguez? Rodriguez is also unhappy. You know what? They're all going to be unhappy. Alright, so, you know what? We'll stick with this one. Stroman and Jansen. So that is the trade. That is probably going to be our only trade to shore up that rotation. And, yeah, hopefully we do well to finish out the year. And I will see you guys at the end of the year. I'm tripping over my words here. And hopefully we should be in that playoff spot. Alright guys, so we made it into the playoffs, and this was the AL playoff picture was set pretty early on in the month of September. But the Yankees, Orioles, and Red Sox all were right there within like a game and a half game of each other for the majority of the time there, as to who's going to win the division, who's going to be the first wildcard spot, and who's going to be the second wildcard spot. But overall, the Orioles to fight for the division as late as they did against the Yankees and the Red Sox was pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting to do this well. We're 94 and 68 on the year, but you know, we've improved a lot over the past 2-3 years, and we really, the players really perform pretty well. Our defense is terrible, I will say that, and we have no speed. But yeah, I don't know how much that's going to affect us in the playoffs. Obviously, in real life, that could seriously be an issue. I don't know how it's going to work during these playoffs and these sims. But yeah, we got the first wildcard spot, so goal accomplished. And hopefully we can beat the Red Sox and make it into the playoff picture for the division series. And see how far we go. For the awards or anything like that, we had a couple of leaders: Dylan Bundy in winning percentage, Trey Mancini in hits. Division title was to the Yankees, of course, and the wild card spot was the Red Sox and us. We got the first wild card spot. So all that we know. Jumping into the league leaders, we got Votto leading the league in batting average. Betts in second, Marwin Gonzalez in third, tied with Carlos Santana. Look at that. Doing well. Maybe we could have kept him. Nah, I'm happy with Aguilar playing first, and Mancini actually plays first when there's no DH. But you know, there's really not a lot of times when there's no DH. But yeah, in the NL we got Buster Posey back on top there, hitting .313. Eric Hosmer at .309. Joe Panik at .307. Nice year for California, huh? And the Giants, wow. Okay. Hits, Hosmer one shy of 200. Mancini on our team got 196. He had a nice year. Homers, Judge led with 45, Trout with 43, JD with 42. And then we got Bell hitting 40 in the NL, Hosmer with 39, and a couple guys tied for third with 38, and Harper, Goldschmidt, and Arenado. RBIs, Bell 119, Trout 126. Altuve and Gordon, 38 stolen bases apiece. Segura's right there with 32. In the NL, we have Marte with 45 and Hamilton with 42. Let's go into the pitching. Bumgarner led with 19 wins. Severino with 20. Dylan Bundy had 17. Even though his ERA was over 4, he had a nice offense to back him up this year, so that was a nice change there. As for saves, Davinsky had 50. Givens didn't do too bad with 46. Jansen had 52 saves. Allen had 50 ERA. Cole had 2.28 ERA. That's pretty good. Tanaka and Alvarez, nice, tied for 241 in the AL. And strikeouts, Sal had 260 and Cole had 271. And DeGrom, of course, is up there. Nice. But yeah, we're gonna jump into the playoff picture here. Let's see. The NL wildcard game has already been played. Pittsburgh moves on. Giants are out. I don't really know. Hey, Rodriguez. I almost traded for him. So I think we're gonna be quick managing this one. Yeah, I think we'll quick manage it. Let's just erase this. Alright, so who do we have Bundy going for us. And our lineups are pretty set. Yeah, pretty good there. Okay. Whew, a little nervous here. Our first playoff game in a while. Alright, here we go. Trying to stay in it. Bundy in the first. Pollock leading off. Actually almost signed Pollock. No, not with the double. Not a good start. Alright, thing that I do actually, figure I'll mention it. If I'm quick managing here, if a guy gets on with decent speed, usually you don't have to worry about it with someone who's not very fast. But if a guy gets on with decent speed, I'm always going to do that pick off. I don't know if that tires out the pitcher or not, but it really, really shuts down the running game. So Benintendi's up, struck out. Betts, hit by pitch, not good. Bundy, not good. Come on, keep it together, man. Martinez, fly out. Jeanette, strikeout. We got through the first, unscathed. Segura leading off for us. Grounds out. Piscotty struck out. Castellanos, fly out. Devers, ground out. Gregorius, singles. Do that pick off. Who is Franco? And why are you singling? Alright, pick off second. Real Muto grounds out. And then Pollock. No, Bundy, come on. You gotta stay in this. Keep us in this game, man. 2-run double. We're up. I mean, we're down 2-0 in the second. Alright, it's only the second. It's only the second inning. Ground out. Got out of it. Soler popped out. Mancini. Nunez keeping it alive. Candelario walked. Aguilar, can you come through? No, you cannot. Oh. Alright. Top of the third. Betts leading off. Struck out. Strikeout. Strikeout. Nice inning by Bundy. Swihart with the single lead off the inning. Segura flew out. Scotty reaches on an error. We couldn't make anything of that. Alright, Devers is up. Start the fourth. Fly out, ground out, fly out. Mancini grounds out. Nunez walks. Fly out. Fielder's choice. We're really not getting anything going versus Rodriguez so far. This is starting to worry me. Alright, Real Muto's going up against Bundy to start the fifth. And he singles. Pop out. Another single by Betts. Come on, Bundy. Fielder's choice. Got out of it. Alright. Swihart. No. Come on, guys. Yes! Castellanos drives in a run. 2-1. Bottom of the fifth. We've split the lead in half. Can we continue it? No, we cannot. Okay. Soler struck out. Oh, now it becomes a matter of how long do we leave Bundy in. And we may have to take him out. Alright, alright. How is he against... Should we bring in a lefty? How many lefties do we got? A lot of lefties. That's right. We have a ton of lefties. Okay. Torres, 260, Rogers, Blyer, and Diaz. Oh, Diaz did pretty good. I haven't looked at their stats just yet, but Diaz is pretty good. Okay, Torres, come on, Torres. Line out. Franco. Oh, I can't really tell. Is he better versus lefties or righties? Probably righties. Alright. Ground out. We got out of it. Alright, come on, Mancini. I don't even know if I'm saying your name right. Single. Come on, Swihart, please. No. Come on. We're blowing so many chances here. Alright, Real Muto. We're going to leave in the lefty, face him. Ground out, Pollock. Who do we want to bring in? We want to leave the lefty. Pop out, and Benintendi. Walked. Betts. Ground out. Alright, good job by Torres. Segura. Come on, Segura. Piscotti. Castellanos. Doubled. Soler, drive him in. Come on. No! Alright, Martinez, righties. Who do we bring in? Kelvin Herrera. Walked him. Not good. Not good. Not good. Need another lefty. Blyer. Fly out. Pick off. Fielder's choice. Fly out. Alright, we're still in it. Down 2-1 in the bottom of the eighth. And they really have to bring in... No. No. We gotta get this guy. Come on. Single. Nunez, please. Walk. Come on, guys. Is Candelario a good bunter? Yes! Surprisingly, he is! Oh my goodness. Please get this down. Yes! Sack bunt, please. Aguilar. Come on now. Come on now, man. We can do this. Sack fly. No! No! Aguilar, what? Oh my god. We had that. We had this game tied up. Oh no. We got to Kimbrough and we could not capitalize. Are you kidding me? Ooh, that hurts. We got one inning left to do something here. Okay. Strike out. Fly out. Ground out. Come on, guys. Come on. This is tense. No. Segura. No. Piscotty. Please. Please. Oh my god. That's so frustrating. We had Kimbrel. Oh my god, no. No, we lost in the wild card game. This is disappointing. This is really disappointing. Oh, it's such a nice season. 94 and 68. Ah, it was so close. At least extras would give us a chance. Aguilar, no. Dude. Why? Should I have just swung the bat with him? I don't know, man. Oh, that's really frustrating. No, so close. All right, let's see what happens after that. Let's see who wins the World Series. Don't be Red Sox, please. The Yankees, of course they did, have defeated the Cubs in the 2020 World Series. All right. Where are we? 40-man roster. Yanoa, he had 3 wins this year, 1 save, 19 innings, 186. Again, he did pretty well. Mike Wright, that's the wrong guy. Mike Wright, 1 and 3, 32 innings, 529. He struggled. I feel like Yanoa and Wright are going back and forth every year. John Gray, 11-11, 182.2, 389 ERA. His whip wasn't too bad. 169 strikeouts. Pretty solid year by Gray. He's starting to trend down. Stroman, 11-11, 216 innings, 175 strikeouts, 279 ERA. His whip was pretty good. Pretty solid year by Stroman. Montgomery, 12-8, 160 innings, 150 strikeouts, and a 2.68 ERA. Again, his whip was pretty good. Solid year by Montgomery. And then we have Bundy, 17-6, just under 200 innings, 4.13 ERA. So a solid year, a little bit of a down year for Bundy, but overall a solid year by him. He had that offense which helped him get those 17 wins, but not a bad year, not really. Henderson Alvarez now, 11-6, just under 200 innings, just over 100 strikeouts, and 2.41 ERA. So Alvarez overtaking that ace position here. Maybe we should have started Alvarez in that game. Huh. Bundy didn't do too bad, not at all. And the bullpen came in really well. But, you just wonder what could have gone, what could have gone better in that situation. Blyer, 5-4, 64 innings, 3.80 ERA, 130 whip, not bad. Taylor Rogers, 6-2, 76 innings, 3.89 ERA, solid whip. Bowman, a bit of an off year for him, but he's still young. He's still trending upwards. Hopefully he bounces back next year. 4.04 ERA and 89 innings. You got Torres, who had another solid year, 2.60 ERA. He's still trending up. He's only 26. And then we have Herrera, who in 50 innings had a 2.7 ERA. Solid whip. Pretty good year for him. Diaz, 1 win, 1 save, 14 innings, 2.57 ERA in his first, what am I trying to say? his first bit of major league experience. I can't think of what I'm trying to say there, but you know what I mean. He did good when he first came up. Givens, 4-2, 46 saves, 3.63 ERA, a bit of a down year for him. His whip's a little high for sure, and he had 8 blown saves, so not the best year for him. He started to trend down. I hope that doesn't continue. Holiday, 7-for-21, hit 333 with a homer. Swihart went 90 hits, 11 homers, 40 RBIs at 274. Not bad on his part. Moreland, almost 50 hits, 7 bombs, 20 RBIs at 224. His on base was solid for his average. Aguilar, first baseman, 23 homers, 76 RBIs at 273. Solid on base. Second base, we had Nunez, 126, again with the 24 homers. Not bad. A bit of a down year for him, but the power and the RBI, power was still there, RBIs went up. His OBP went down. Not good to see because he really doesn't walk much anyway, and he strikes out a ton. But that's what happens when your vision is 15 and it went down. Okay. What did where is he? What did McCarthy do? Did he play at all? 3 for 9 with a homer. Not bad. Not bad. Candelario, 149 hits, 24 homers. He hit 250 with 319 on base. Definitely a bit of a better player, similar to Nunez, but better. His vision is much higher. Tovar, 56 hits, 276 average, 344 on base. Not pretty good off the bench. Segura had a bit of a down year, but not too bad. I'd like to see his on base up a little bit more, but again, he's not someone who walks too much either. Doesn't strike out much either, so that's good. He's trending down, so that's not good to see. We might have to move him. Santander, 31 hits, hit 252. Mancini had a solid year. He hit over 300. 26 homers, 196 hits, 93 RBIs. Who else? We got Piscotty, 148 hits, 20 homers, 68 RBIs, hit 279 with a 350 OBP. Soler, 141 hits, 15 homers, 60 RBIs, hit 276 with 362 OBP. And we got Castellanos, 161 hits, 25 homers, 88 RBIs, hit 264 with a 336 OBP. So overall, a pretty solid year for the players on the team. But yeah, I think we'll do one more year though for them, just to see if we can get them into the playoffs past that wild card game. I know it's going to be hard to win the division and get straight in there with the Yankees and possibly Boston. But I think we'll give it one more year for this rebuild. So yeah, we still got a little bit of work to do. A couple guys starting to trend down. I'm not so sure about Nunez. We saw Segura was trending down. Who else? Givens is starting to trend down, but I'm not going to be so quick on him. If there's a closer that we can pick up, that might be solid. What am I saying? That might be a good idea to do. Diaz is not. I don't think he's ready to be a closer just yet. And I'm not really sure about putting Herrera in there. I kind of like him in this setup role. Wilson is not doing very well. Probably gonna move on from him. And yeah, we just got a couple of questions. Gray is starting to trend downwards, so we might need another fifth starter. Salary is going to be an issue a little bit, I think, but yeah, we'll see what we can do in the next year. But yeah, thank you guys so much for checking the video out. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you have any tips or advice or feedback, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And for anyone watching, if you have any ideas for videos that you may want me to do in the future, feel free to leave them down below as well. That goes for any video at any time. And let me know what you guys think about this rebuild so far. If you haven't checked out the first two, like I mentioned earlier, feel free to go check those out as well. And yeah, we'll pick it up with year 4, which will probably be the last year of this rebuild in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and until the next video, I will see you guys later.